Hey everyone, this is my 6-month update video for me learning Japanese, which is really exciting to say the least. I don't remember the exact date I started, but I know I started in October and it's currently April. October of 2020, it's currently April 2021, so 6 months, which is really cool. I kind of have like a personality type where it's like whenever I get into something, I'm like into it for only a few months before I end up like dropping it and moving on to something new. So it's really cool for me to have made it of 6 months of studying Japanese and not feeling any like real, like I feel like I haven't really lost interest in learning Japanese the whole 6 months. Like I just keep on thinking the next day like what I'm gonna do to try to improve. So that's been really cool. I'm still just as motivated as I'm still just as motivated as when I started. And yeah, I've just been really enjoying the whole process of learning a new language. I have 2 videos related to Japanese, learning Japanese already on my channel. This is the 3-month update, and then I made a video last month or a few weeks ago. So yeah, I talk more in depth about what I did at that point for those videos. If you want to check them out, you can. If not, I'll like try to quickly recap those for those of you who might not be familiar. So for my first 3 months of learning Japanese, I did the traditional method, or not first 3 months, first like 5 months. But in 3 months, I completed Genki 1, and I was working through Kanji Look and Learn and some other textbook resources, really doing very traditional study methods. I watched a lot of Tokini Andy because he's a YouTuber who has a series on Genki videos, he has a series for Genki for grammar, and those were useful. Those were cool when I was going through Genki. So in 3 months, I was able to complete that. Then I moved on to Genki 2. I was still using Tokini Andy's videos, very, very good videos if you're working through Genki, through the Genki series or Quartet, because I think he's planning on doing Quartet now that he's finished Genki 1 and 2. So I really recommend his, I can't recommend his videos enough. They're very high quality, make grammar very digestible. So if you are a traditional learner, definitely check him out. Great YouTuber. But yeah, I actually didn't finish Genki 2. I got to like chapter 20. I think there's like 23. I finished chapter 20, and this was around like 5 months. So I probably could have finished Genki 2 by the time this video came out, but I decided against it because around like the 5-month mark, I discovered another YouTube channel, Matt vs. Japan. And for those of you who are learning Japanese, you probably already know about Matt vs. Japan and AJAT, MIA, Refold, immersion-based learning in general. So yeah, last month, that's about when I updated or made my video before this. That's when I started doing entirely immersion-based learning, and that's been really cool for me. So that's basically the past 6 months summed up. Yeah. So I guess I'll just talk about, or I guess 5 months summed up, and then 1 month of immersion, and it brings us to 6 months. Yeah. Sorry if I'm like all over the place with this video. I don't really want to go back and do another take, because those take kind of long. So this will all be just like one go, really raw. So bear with me if I have like moments where I'm just pausing to think about what to say next. Yeah, just like that. So I guess I'll just now that you've known a little bit about the methods that I've been doing up to this point, I guess I'll talk about where I left off since dropping Genki, because in my latest video I talked about following Refold, which is what the method is called. Where to start? I guess I'll go with vocabulary. So I've been using the Tongo decks, the MIA Tongo decks, the N5. I have the N4 deck as well. I'm thinking about doing the N3, but to summarize, I've been doing about 25 cards a day for the N5. I think Refold recommends not doing any more than like 20 cards a day, but I'm doing 25 because before I actually started the Tongo deck, I kind of went through this book like on the inside and just like marked what I didn't know, and I already made like a separate Anki deck for it. So I got I finished like the majority of this book already, but I'm kind of just doing 25 cards a day on the N5 deck because the N5 Tongo deck it like kanjified everything, so I already know the kana for most vocab, but I don't know the kanji. So that's why I've been doing like 25 cards a day. It's been pretty mellow. Reviews aren't long, they take about like 20 to 30 minutes. I think there's like 1100 or 1200 cards, and on Anki I think I'm like 800 something cards in. Let me check real quick. Excuse me. I am about wrong deck. I probably should have had this planned already, so that's my apologies. Yeah, so I'm a little over 800 cards in, so I should be done with the N5 deck within within the next month or so. Probably by the end of April, to be honest. There's only like 350 cards, new cards left in the deck that I don't know, so I'll just get through those. After that, I plan on going to the N4 deck, because that's like just the natural progression. I think that deck is shorter, but I'll probably drop my daily cards a day down to 20, because I feel like there will be like, more words that I don't know off the top. So overall vocab after 6 months, I would say most of the N5, and then I also have like vocabulary decks I made when I was going through like Genki 1 and 2 for the chapters that I got through. So around like I don't know, ballpark estimate, maybe around like definitely like 1K words, like probably over that, maybe more. There's probably some repeats in the Tongo. Yeah, there's probably some overlap between the Tongo and Genki, but ballpark estimate about roughly like 1K words. So that's cool. Talk about grammar next. So I also mentioned this in my last video. I was working through Take Him at the time. I'm still going through Take Him. I read like a chapter a day in the beginning, because there's like a lot of the similar grammar or the same grammar in Genki that's in Take Him. So I think when I first started reading Take Him, I knew a good amount, but there was still like a lot I didn't know. But for like the first, I think it was like chapter 3 or something, I just like blew through that in like 1 or 2 days. And then some of chapter 4 as well. I was just blowing by it. But after, I think it was like midway through chapter 4, I kind of just had to chill with it. Like I just started doing like 1 chapter a day, or like 1 section a day or something, whatever it's called. Yeah, 1 section a day. And I've been doing like the quick and dirty method. I haven't been like mining Take Him, because I don't want to spend like an extreme amount of time in Anki. So yeah, I've just been doing about a section a day. That's been cool. Right now, I just got to advanced chapter 6, advanced topics. So yeah, I'll probably be done with this in like 2 weeks or so. What should I say about Take Him? Even though I'm doing like I'm not mining Take Him, I kind of like regret that because I feel like a lot of what I've read hasn't stuck as well. Yeah, like I'll read it and then like maybe sometimes I'll recognize it when I'm like immersing in anime. But it's still kind of like foreign to me, which is to be expected because you can't really just like read it once and then know grammar. But I think going forward, I need to continue immersing more, and especially doing more reading in order to like see those grammar and have them like stick. And then if that doesn't work out, I'll probably start mining Take Him or a dictionary of basic Japanese grammar because I heard those are like really good mining resources for grammar. But generally, like mining grammar resources is recommended against because you want to pick up like your grammar naturally through immersion. So yeah, that is grammar. Kanji. So I think I said in my last video too, I was working through RTK. I was about like 1400 kanji in or so. Oh boy, I think I definitely overestimated myself when it comes to RTK. I was doing like 25 new cards a day, and it was around like 1700 kanji, or a little under. I burnt out like completely. My reviews for RTK were crazy. I think I had like 200 reviews, and then on top of that 25 new cards every day. And because it's like it was like an RTK deck, so it's not recognition, so that would take me like about at least an hour to an hour and a half just to finish that deck, not including like the Tongo. So sometimes like my time in Anki would be like over 2 hours, which is like really not good at all. So I stopped adding new cards to RTK, and I kind of just did reviews for a bit for like the past couple of weeks. And now the reviews are about at like 80. Like they were 80 yesterday, and I checked the schedule and they're about 80 for a bit, going down steadily. But I'm thinking about starting it up again. Yeah, I'm probably gonna add like 15 cards a day because I think that's like a pretty mellow pace to go at, and I'm not really in a rush to finish it. It's kind of just like I'm already like so close to the end, so I just might as well. I also flipped the deck to lazy kanji style, so it's more recognition based, so that also helps. I think it takes me about like 20 to 30 minutes to rep the deck now, which is a very nice improvement. So I'm spending like a lot less time in Anki now for sure. So that's been cool. Yeah, I think. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but with RTK, I was also like writing. I still kind of want to write the kanji because I feel like it helps me, but I know that's like recommended. That's not recommended. I think there's like other kanji decks out there. There's like RRTK, which is the 1000 most frequent kanji, and there's like the JP1K. So yeah, those are like other options if you're thinking about learning kanji. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend RTK, but like I said, at this point I'm just so close to the end, I might as well finish. And I guess my reasons for it, for wanting to do it was because like the more kanji you know, the better. And I guess writing it, I have like plans to visit Japan sometime in the future, and when I eventually do go, I wanted to be able to like write kanji. So yeah, that's kind of like that's really what it boils down to. So yeah, probably wouldn't recommend RTK, but yeah. I guess for my immersion, I'll quickly talk about what I've been doing for this past month, because it is just the 1 month. It's been a month since I started Refold. So with reading, I guess I'll start with reading. I mentioned it in my previous video, but I was using like bilingual manga, I think that's what it's called, to read Yotsuba, and I finished all the chapters on there. There's like 32, and that was cool. I was able to download like other manga, but like Yotsuba was like, other than the vocab I didn't know, it was a fairly easy read. Like I was able to understand. Sorry, my camera is kind of, let me fix the lights. Okay, hopefully that's better. But yeah, for Yotsuba, it was pretty easy. Like the longer sentences were a little more difficult, but it was an okay read. But I found when I moved on to other manga, it was pretty difficult actually. So I kind of stopped reading manga. And then I actually subscribed to Satori Reader for a month, or for this month. I was using it a lot for the first 2 weeks. I completed probably like 2 stories. I think it was probably like over 100 articles, but those stories were they were like at my level, and it was like raw text. Like they have like audio, but I was just reading it. I wasn't even like using the audio or the translations too much. Occasionally I would like look up words, so I can like comprehend. But other than that, yeah, the stories, like I was able to read them, but they were just boring to me. Like, so I kind of just dropped Satori Reader and I canceled my subscription, which was, kind of sad because I didn't get my full money's worth. But yeah, I just dropped it because it was boring to me. And like, so that covered like the first 2 weeks of immersion for reading. I kind of like stopped. I didn't make an effort to read as much after. But what I did end up doing is previously, like when I was I guess I'll switch over to listening immersion. So for shows that I've seen, like in those first 2 weeks, all the anime that I watched, like I didn't watch with subs. Like, so I guess it was pure listening, or not pure listening, but it was more listening than reading. But after I stopped reading Satori Reader and manga, I turned on subs for anime because I guess it was like good to just see the text and have, reinforce it, immerse more. I think that's like what's recommended when you're first starting out. But yeah, so when it comes to shows that I've watched, I've completed 16 shows, so that's a pretty big number. For tracking, I'm using like my anime list, which probably isn't like the most accurate thing because it probably considers OPs and endings. So take this stat with like a grain of salt. But for shows, 16 shows completed. It says 3.9 days. So if I were to calculate that, I think that's like around 80 hours or so. So 24 times 3.9. Okay, so like 93.6 hours of listening. Give or take some, obviously, because I'm not really sure how accurate my anime list is when it comes to that tracking time. So yeah, I feel like I did yeah, um, I did a really good amount of listening. I think my immersion most of the time it was like 3 to 4 hours every day, and then more on the weekends if I could. Sometimes I would be a little under, but overall I was like at least at least 2, mostly 3 hours every day. So that was cool. Um, oh yeah, I also got these, which are like I got an iPod, uh, and I just have like anime like playing on it, like anime shows playing on it all the time. So for passive immersion, I've started doing that. I don't really track passive immersion, because you know it's not something that I feel like it's not something you can track. Or I mean, you probably could, but it's I don't really see the point in tracking it. It's just like whenever you can, you do it. So whenever I'm like not at my desk or you know watching or reading, I normally have an earbud in and I'm just listening to shows. Right now, Golden Time is playing, so that's cool. So yeah, that's my immersion. For comprehension, I guess I'll move on to that. Um, so for the shows that I watched on my anime list, for the ratings, I kind of scored them according to the Refold levels of comprehension. So I'll probably put a link to everything I'm saying in the description. I think I'll also link my my anime list profile, in case you're curious or want recommendations or things like that. So according to the levels of comprehension, for most shows I'm around a 2, which is like bits and pieces, which means I recognize 1 or 2 words in most sentences, and every once in a while I'll understand an entire sentence, and I have an extremely vague sense of what sort of things are being talked about. So the mean score across 16 shows is a 2.13. So yeah, roughly a 2. There are some shows where I was able to like understand more than 50%, so that was like really cool. Yeah, I guess the plan with this is always, just keep on immersing and it'll get better over time. But yeah, that's kind of my idea going forward. I guess what I plan to do, other than that, I plan to switch my listening and reading a little bit, because I feel like I just do a lot of listening right now, like exclusively listening, especially in these past 2 weeks. And I really want to start reading more, because I feel like that'll really help solidify the grammar that I've learned through Take Him. And the goal, like I want to be able to like read light novels and things like that. So yeah, the only way to get better with reading is to read, obviously. So I picked up some manga, like physical copies. So this is Quintessential Quintuplets. I read the English translation like before I was learning Japanese, and I already watched like the anime. Season 2 was great, by the way. So yeah, I'm thinking about reading this in Japanese, since I don't have to like worry too much about not understanding everything, since I already like know the plot to everything. So yeah, that's kind of the goal right now. I have some other manga out there, but I kind of figured it would be cool to have a physical copy. So the goal with this, I think I broke it down like 3 to 4 hours every day of immersion. Most of that in the past 2 weeks has just been like fully listening. So now I'm trying to break it down into maybe half of that time is spent towards reading, and then the other half is listening. I definitely want to like prioritize reading, so like at least half, but preferably more. So 1.5 to 2 hours of reading. Hopefully I'll see like dramatic gains in terms of comprehension, so that'll be cool. But yeah, there's not really much to say other than that. It's just keep on immersing, and hopefully everything will start to click more. But I guess for 6 months, where would I place myself? So after 6 months of learning Japanese, where would I place myself? Still very much a beginner, but I will say I took like French for 3 years in high school, and I think my Japanese is definitely a lot better than my French. That's not really saying anything, but it's really hard to break down where I would put myself. I guess not, there's still like a lot. There's still a long ways to go in terms of improving, but I think I'm content with what I've done in 6 months, and that's the important thing. But yeah, hopefully the plan is just to continue to immerse more and just get better at Japanese that way. But yeah, other than that, that was my 6-month video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got something out of watching it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, I guess, if you really want, because I read all my comments and I try to respond to everyone. So if you have any particular questions, feel free to leave them down below and I'll probably get to you. But I guess other than that, when it comes to these update videos, normally it's like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year. I kind of plan to just update in the future, like going forward when I put out these videos. They won't be on like a specific timeline. They'll just be like whenever I feel like I've made substantial progress that like warrants another video. So maybe like the next video that I put out, not saying like this is for sure, but like maybe when I start or complete the monolingual transition or something, or maybe when I start reading light novels, I don't know. But it's just like whenever I feel like I've made a huge jump, that's to let you guys know about. So yeah, and that can be like, it probably won't be in like a month, but it probably won't be like 6 months until the next time you see a video that comes out from me, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I have to say pretty much. Yeah, like I said a minute ago, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. But other than that, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.